You know, one Professor Taye Ogunade said he gave your friend, gave Dele Giwa some tapes of proceedings at the military tribunal sittings. Was there a secret Maman Vatsa tape?
No, I'm not aware.
You worked closely with him and you were next door neighbors, so you must have known some of the stories he was working on. Now you've said there were really no Gloria Okon. You weren't pursuing that story. Now you said there was no Maman Vatsa tape.
No.
Because he must have left some manuscripts.
No.
What do you think the government of the day, if indeed they did this, have against
No,
Dele Giwa?
I think that Dele must have said something on the telephone, which people, since they were bugging the phone, I cannot be specific about it. It is true that we tried to find out something about the Gloria Okon story. I don't know whether he ever said to somebody, okay, we are working on the Gloria Okon's story or anything like that. But I suspect that he must have said something on the phone and somebody said, oh, okay, this is it. Because I do not remember anything that we published in the magazine that could have rankled anybody such that would decide to take his life.
Somebody suggested that maybe he was trying to blackmail someone.
Blackmail who?
I don't know.
He wasn't a blackmailer. We're talking about 1986. Bombs are exploding today because it's become a common item of warfare in this part of the world. What? To talk of a parcel bomb 30 years ago, that was an unknown item in this part of the world. And when it happened, people decided to buy all kinds of equipment to check letters before they would receive. So such a sophisticated approach to assassination, which human being, which person, which individual outside of the military, outside of the government would do it? I doubt it. I mean, we used to go out at night to go to parties and so on. So anybody could have decided to shoot him.
But they didn't.
That would be a straightforward matter. Put to conceive of a bomb in a parcel and think, you plan and hope that the person will be the one receiving it. That is very sophisticated. Who is the person that would be accused of murder and he does not get up and say, no, I defend myself? These people were invited to Oputa's panel, the human rights panel, and they refused to attend. They actually went to court to stop Oputa from inviting them and to stop the government from implementing the decision of the panel. The man who investigated the case, Abubakar Saf, was Assistant Commissioner of Police. He came to Oputa panel in Abuja, I was there, and said that when he finished his own investigation, he submitted the report to Chris Omeben, who was the DIG at that time, Deputy Inspector General of Police. And in that preliminary report, he asked to be allowed to search the houses of Colonel Togun and Brigadier Akilu, their houses and their offices, so that he could get some information of evidential value. And he was not allowed to do it. The case file was not returned to him. It was not assigned to somebody else. Why would a government organization that is charged with dealing with such problems behave that way?
DIG Omebe, that you just mentioned, published a book on this matter and accused the directors of Newswatch of having a fight within the board. And he claimed that it was as a result of that fight that Dele Giwa was killed.
It's a useless book. It's not something you can subject to an intellectual interrogation or any logical interrogation. The truth is that there was no boardroom crisis. 4 of us were friends. 4 of us were friends. And Dele Giwa was editor-in-chief. All the 4 of us were earning the same salary and allowances. Nobody earned a higher salary.
Is there an easy way to tackle corruption in the judiciary?
Not in the judiciary, not in the media, not in any way. I'm really sorry for President Buhari because the problem he's taken on is Herculean. It's a Herculean task to uproot corruption in Nigeria. But it's a task that somebody must undertake. And I sympathize with him because he does not have the powers of a dictator, which would have helped him in fighting corruption. Democracy does not allow for the methods that they're trying to use now. That is the problem. He wants to fight corruption. He's fighting it. And some of us support the fight 101%. But in a democracy, there are handicaps. Human rights violations are important in a democracy. In a dictatorship, they may not look very important. You can do whatever you want. But of course, in Nigeria, you have a strong press, feisty press. You have NLC, you have a bar association. Even in an autocratic government, such as we had in 1984-85, with Buhari in charge. In a democracy, it's far worse for a government that wants to fight corruption in a place like Nigeria, where corruption is an industry. So I sympathize with President Buhari, but we all ought to encourage him to continue doing it, but doing it with the right methods.
Mr. Ray Ekpu, we thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
And we thank you for watching. I want to close today's program with a quote from the organization Reporters Without Borders. Guaranteeing the public's right to independent and reliable news and information is essential if humankind's problems, both local and global, are to be solved. My name is Modele Sharafa Yusuf. Do follow me on Twitter @ModeleSY so we can keep the conversation going. And please join us next time when the program comes back on air. Thank you again for watching and see you soon.